Okay, hello everyone. I think we're pretty much trying to go live here, and I hope this is recording. My name is Priska Diaz, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bitty Lab. I'm your host for this Colic Clinics that are happening every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. I hope that everything is going okay here as far as technicality goes. So today we're going to talk about how to prevent the spit ups in babies. um, Essentially, what we want to talk about is we have done a little research, or rather a lot of research, and found several studies, several surveys, everything that has to do with spit ups in babies. How is this happening? Why is this happening? What are the symptoms that you have to watch for, and what is, more importantly, how can you prevent it? How can you stop it? How can you make your baby more comfortable, as well as your own life? I mean, cleaning a spit up from baby is not a fun thing. So one of the things that we want to bring attention to is if you're breastfeeding and your baby is spitting up, there are some certain life changes that you can do, like lifestyle changes. For example, stop eating eggs or cut down at least, cut down on dairy. Sometimes even coffee can make your baby better. And the reason for cutting down dairy and eggs essentially is because of the protein that these foods have that eventually leaches out in the breast milk, and so it's affecting the baby's digestive system, and that will cause them to regurgitate a lot, and it usually comes with a lot of pain, or it will cause them to build up gas in their stomach, and it will, cause a lot of pain as well. If your diet is off dairy and off coffee, off eggs, if there's no one smoking in the house can also trigger a lot of spit ups in babies. So you want to make sure that none of that is happening. Of course, no alcohol or any other controlled substance. And your baby continues to spit up, you want to check into the way the baby's latching. Many times, if the baby's not latching correctly on the breast, the baby can ingest air as well as or while he's feeding. So that's going to trigger similar symptoms, like it will build up gas in the stomach. It's very uncomfortable, and it will eventually, trigger a lot of gas and gas pain. And so what we want to do is check with your lactation consultant. If you don't have one, we have some resources on our website, bittylab.com. You can check on the breastfeeding section. There's a little directory there that can help you find a lactation consultant close to where you are. Also, if you have a doula, you may want to ask your doula. They have connections. If you deliver the baby at a hospital, they also have lactation consultants and staff, and it may be even covered by your insurance. So please do check on that. They can help you figure out what is the problem, if the latching is the problem. If the baby has any kind of tongue tie, sometimes that affects the latching, the way the baby latches as well, and it filters in the air. So you want to check all that. So say you already checked that, your latching is perfect. Your breast milk it's given him or the baby a lot of discomfort. You want to check with your doctor. They could be in the very rare occasions that your baby could be allergic to anything in the breast milk as well. So the doctor can do a lot of tests for that. What they will typically or most likely do is change it to a allergy-free formula. And then, hopefully the problem goes away. Before you do that, though, we encourage you highly, highly to continue to use your breast milk. So we have a few tips in here to check if in the event that you think you're breastfeeding correctly and you think that your baby's latching well, but the baby still has the symptoms, before you switch over to formula, you may want to try pumping your own breast milk and then feeding the baby in a certain way to make sure that there's no air filtering in. The last resource is for sure get them off the breast milk, right? But that's really the very, very last resort, and it will only be in the case of severe allergies to your own milk, which is very, very rare. It's not the majority at all. So one of the things when you bottle feeding, say you could never breastfeed, or you're trying to win the baby, or you're back to work, you introduce bottles, and now your baby's very, very gassy, even with your own breast milk. If you were breastfeeding before, baby was fine, introduce bottles with your breast milk, now the baby's having issues, right? So that's actually a very, very common situation. Almost 80% of moms go through the same problem. So what you typically do with a bottle, I don't want to show anybody's brand in here, so I do have this very basic bottle for pets. The traditional baby bottles out there are not different than this. So it's essentially a container, a closed container base, a bottle, and then some sort of nipple attachment on the top. So essentially that's your typical baby bottle. So what moms will do is just, recline the baby, lie down the baby. These bottles do work with gravity, so you have to turn them upside down to feed, so the reclining works for them. And so you feed the baby this way, right? So there are many, many studies out there, and once again, we do list them on our website. If you go in the blog section, you're going to see that there are a lot of doctors, and we do name them by name. We link to their studies showing that this reclined position actually makes the regurgitation much, much easier. It aggravates any kind of gastroesophageal reflux that the baby may have. It causes a lot of gas buildup. So this position is not better than this, although this is, of course, much, much worse. So the reason why, what we know so far is that the reason why babies do get a lot of spit up is that the lower esophageal sphincter, which is a little muscle or a little flap that closes the esophagus and when it meets the stomach, so it opens and closes, right? So it opens to receive the food, and then it closes back so that the food doesn't come back into the esophagus. So it looks like YouTube is having a little bit of issue backlagging here. You may experience delays, but okay, we'll go on. So having the baby in this position, it's really, really bad, not recommended at all. And again, you can double check this fact with internet sites like the American Academy of Pediatrics and everything else that we list on our website. So what you really want to do is have the baby 100% in vertical position, just like you and I drink coffee, essentially. So we have in our blog a very detailed step-by-step on how to control or how to hold the baby's head. If you have a newborn, what's going to happen is the baby's head falls over. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you hold the baby properly. You do not want to touch him in a place that you're not supposed to, like in here. Please do check the blog step by step on how exactly to do this adequately. And you want to feed the baby in this position as much as possible. As you already know, you're not going to be able to do this while the baby is sitting up, right? So what we've been working on, and what is the flagship of our website and all of our products, is this device, which is essentially a syringe. We call it Bear Airfree. It's not a bottle at all. In fact, it has to be properly assembled. It's really a cylinder with a plunger. You hold the plunger on a flat surface, and then you put the foot together. You want to put in the milk or water in here. You close it off, and before you feed the baby, you want to expel the air. You see this over here on the center only. You want to press this button slowly but firmly, and as you can see, the air plug here is being pushed up, and that means that it's going to push up the milk all the way up to the top, and now you have a container that doesn't have any air in and is essentially 100% milk. So again, think of syringes. That's exactly what the doctor does, so that your vein doesn't get any kind of air bubbles, right? So this product actually works with suction. You do not have to tip it over at all. So the only thing you want to do is hold the baby again properly, and you want to hold bear right side up in this position, just like this. As long as the baby creates the suction, he's able to feed. If the baby doesn't create suction, no food is coming to him, so there's never choking. So if you know somebody, if you know a neighbor or somebody who's been using this product and they may tell you my baby's choking, there's definitely something that is not being done correctly. Just it's physics. If you're holding the product right side up like this, there's nothing that's just gonna begin to dispense milk without any kind of suction force or anything like that, right? So if the baby's in this position and you have bear properly like this, never like this, never, ever, ever like this. You're just holding it up like that. The baby's creating the suction, and then he feeds as long as he can create suction. If for whatever reason your baby has any kind of cleft palate or anything else that doesn't allow him to create a suction, then this product is not really for those babies. The babies must be able to create the suction. You hold it right side up like this, always the nipple higher than the base, and let the baby control the flow, because now he's feeding against gravity. And the way the baby is latching around this base right here will definitely prevent any air swallowing. There's no air inside the container, and so you don't force them to feed. You don't want to do this at all, right? Because now you're helping him with gravity. So I do this. If the baby stops the suction, that means he's done. He's finished. Even if you have milk left over, do not force it in, please. That actually triggers a lot of regurgitations. You want to do that one more thing so that he doesn't spit up or even worse, gets pain while the contents are coming back up. After the baby has fed in 100% upright position, you want to hold the baby again in vertical upright position still for about 20 minutes. You can put the baby over your shoulder. You can begin the burping process by lightly tapping the back. You can just hold him up like this until he, relaxes, falls asleep for about 20 to 30 minutes. Putting the baby to sleep immediately after feeding is a really bad habit, because what you're doing is you're allowing the contents go back into the esophagus very quickly. And that, of course, triggers spit outs, right? So while you're holding him, do not do this, do not do this, do not agitate him, do not make any subtle movements. The babies do need relaxation. The stomach is trying to process the food you just gave them. Hold them as still as possible. If you're a busy mom, if you have other children to tend, you can wear one of those carriers, either front or back carriers, as long as the baby's in vertical position, and just keep them with you for 20 to 30 minutes, and that's going to help a lot. So big difference versus a syringe and a baby bottle that you have to do this all the time. Additionally, when you see space inside a baby bottle, that means that space is full of air. And that air is inevitably being fed to baby and creating the problem. So give it a try. We have a lot of pediatricians that are already recommending their Airfree in order to avoid, prevent, treat regurgitation from babies with tummy issues. Take a look at our website, once again, babylab.com. We have brand new content, highly informative, in the blog section of the website. You can also use the e-commerce site to purchase the product right there on the website. And we do encourage you to subscribe to this channel so that you can get the notifications every week when we do a different topic. And our point for this entire colic clinics is, of course, trying to get rid of the colic in babies. How how severe can this colic be? For some babies, can be very, very severe for a long, long time. It's also, unfortunately, it's very, very common. About 2 out of 3 babies will have severe symptoms of regurgitation, gas, colic, collectively called gastroesophageal reflux. It's very, very painful for this baby, so please do something about it. There aren't that many options. This option, Bear Airfree, is perhaps the only one that is clinically proven to actually work. So do your research. If there is no evidence for other products that tell you that their claims that works for acid reflux, please do your research. Everything should be available on everybody's website. If they have the evidence, you should be able to read it. If you go to our website, we're very transparent. Everything is there. You can even contact the doctors that recommend the product. So please follow up. Check out also social media. We have a lot of promotions going on, giveaways, stuff that we do with moms, events, and a lot of fun stuff. So I hope to see you guys next week. And if you have any questions, also, there's a contact page. You can email us, info@babylab.com. You can call us. You can chat with us, or anything you like, whichever is easiest for you. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.